Hey, who are you guys? Do you need any help?
So there's a story that happens 1 month after the Roswell incident. Were it the same aliens coming to visit their friends to see if they were okay? Or were these two completely different creatures altogether? Let's dive in and find out. August 1947, Italy, Villa Santina. 1 month after the Roswell incident. The original story that intrigued me was: artist was painting a landscape, UFO appears, occupants of the craft descend from the object and takes the painting and leaves. Yet we now understand the true story of what happened to Luigi Rapuzzi Johannis. And thankfully, it's a better story than what people originally believed from hearsay. The man of our was an author, painter, professor, and somewhat of an anthropologist and geologist. A mid-20th century Renaissance man. The man was basically traversing the landscape in order to find fossils. And that's actually pretty cool considering all the things you could probably find. So we thought we'd come to encounter relics from the past and ended up seeing technology to which could be our future. Walking up the mountainous trail, he encountered a strange glowing red disc object sticking up vertically out of one of the sides of the mountain. He approached this object and got up around 20 feet from under it, looked up, didn't quite know what to make of it, and then saw two boys approach from the trees and into the clearing. Luigi approaches these two boys from 150 feet away and shouted at these two boys to get their attention and to see if they knew anything about the strange object. He then got about 60 feet away and stopped dead in his tracks because he felt something was very off about these two. In his own words, Luigi stated, "The two boys were dwarves, the likes of which I had never seen or even imagined. They were coming toward me slowly with tiny strides, with their hands at their sides and their heads motionless. They stopped in front of him and had a stare off for what felt like an eternity. The fear had finally set in, and he had come to the realization that these two boys weren't boys at all. And then this happens."
Hey, who are you guys? Do you need any help?
According to Luigi, that pickaxe flew out of his hand like something pulled it away from him. He struggled to get back up and could only do so barely. He was mostly paralyzed. Now let's stop and think for a second. Here's a guy who just got hit with alien technology from an unknown being that didn't even adjust his weapon. That is, if the entity could even do so. That being just fired from the hip. No pun intended. So Luigi's pretty tough. And to top that all off, he had no reference whatsoever on aliens or UFOs since this was just 1 month after Roswell in 1947. So no internet and the news hadn't even gotten to him. So while he was still on the ground, finally sort of propped up with his hands to his side, he noticed their hands having a total of 6 opposable thumbs, 3 on each side. This was while one of the beings were picking up his pickaxe. They then decide to turn around and head back to their ship. As the two beings left in the red saucer by pushing out of the cleft and finally into the air, Luigi watched as the UAP made some sort of swinging motion back and forth. He claimed that he felt like the saucer would come right back and hit him somehow. He tried to get up and run, but couldn't, and kept falling over to his side and struggling to get up multiple times. He finally screamed and the saucer sped off gradually and left an explosive wind that blew Luigi against some bedrock, and he lay there waiting and resting to finally regain his strength. He found that the exact time was 9:14 a.m., so no missing time in this case. Just a straightforward encounter with beings from a world unknown. You must note, he had no reference point to who these beings were. For all he knew, they could have been spies with advanced technology from another country that most didn't know about. The connection that these beings may have been from outer space didn't hit until he decided to take a boat ride to America and come to discover all the commotion about the Roswell incident. And that's the part that really gets me. This guy didn't decide he had seen aliens. He saw something he had no idea or concept to derive from. This man went about his life, took a boat to America of all things, and only then, surrounded by the buzzing headlines about Roswell, did his own story start to make actual sense to him. That's not the behavior of someone chasing attention. That's the behavior of someone who had an experience so far outside of anything recognizable that it took months and an ocean crossing to even begin to name it. Luigi Rapuzzi went up that mountain looking for evidence of ancient life buried in the rock. What he found instead was something that forced him, and now forces us, to ask a much bigger question. Not just where did we come from, but who else is out there? As you may have come to know, many beings of different types of aesthetics have intrigued us throughout time immemorial. These creatures always seem to fascinate us in ways that are very much perplexing. They behave in ways that confuse us to a degree, and they seem to have clearly evolved in different ways, the likes to which we have never seen, in planes of existence we know nothing about. This universe is so vast, with so many different types of beings that have been reported on from these stories, that it's almost unfathomable to believe that we ourselves are alone. Some have reported to have ways of digestion similar to plants. Others have reported that the advanced way to communicate is through telepathy, which some would argue is better worded telepathy, due to the conceptual emotional communication which is had between two or more beings through mind and heart. If you would like to keep pulling that thread, hit that like and subscribe button and comment below what other stories you'd like for me to cover. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.